Should you be debt free in retirement? That's the question I had when I first started thinking about retirement. So, my wife had a car note. I have a truck note. I have, I don't know, probably $15,000 in unsecured debt, and we have our mortgage. And I really wanted to go into retirement debt free, but I found that to be, when I started doing the research for it, I found it to be kind of unrealistic. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about 65% of households that are in retirement between the ages of 65 and 75 go into retirement with some debt. I retired at 59, so my debt has gone down over time. And I'll tell you why and how that happened. So, back about 15 years ago, my wife and I went to Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University. And it was good. It worked. We got debt free except for $100,000 in student loans that she had. And I had another probably $85,000 in student loans. Outside of our home in student loans, we carried no debt. We had no short-term debt. We had no unsecured debt. We had no car notes. We didn't have any of that stuff. And as our kids got older, life, just happens, and like it does for everybody. And as life happened, we picked up a car note, right? Our cars died and we had to get another car. We bought a used car. We followed Dave Ramsey's suggestion, and we got a used car. We didn't get a clunker or a beater because at the time we were traveling with our kids for sports, and it's something we had to make sure that we were safe with, and something that would be dependable on the road because we were traveling interstate and out of state as well. So what we did, once we got that debt, we still tried to control our unsecured debt. So long story short, from that time to when I retired at 59, I actually went into retirement with some debt, and I looked at what it would cost me to be debt free, right? Because there's a cost to everything we do. What was it going to cost me to be debt free? And the big thing that came about was our home. And I wanted to pay off our home. I wanted to pull money from my retirement account and pay off the balance of our home. That way we didn't have that $2,000 note every month that we had to kind of be chained to, right? So after really looking at that, we ended up with about a 3.25%, I think it's 3.25% interest rate on our home loan. So when I looked at that and I looked at what I was making in the market, right? Now, granted, my money's been out of my 401k and into our retirement investment accounts for right at 11 months. 24th of August would be 11 months. And what I found was that it wouldn't pay me, it wouldn't pay me to pull money out of that account and pay off a low interest debt like my home. I know that's different than what home loans are today, but, I'm making more than that 3.25% on my money in my retirement investments. So it didn't make sense to pay that off. So what we did, or in the process of doing, I should say, I haven't completed the plan yet. What I'm doing is I am going to pull money out of my retirement accounts to pay off my truck. I owe like $3,500 left in my truck, and it's not a great truck. I think it's a great truck, but it's an older truck. It's a 2011 F-250 with 249,000 miles on it, and I'm going to probably take it to over 800,000 miles since it's a diesel. We're going to pay that off. We're going to pay off my wife's car. I think she owns a 23 BMW A4, so we owe probably 21,000 left on that. So we'll pay that off. And then I have some incidental credit card debt that I like to carry debt. I think debt is useful, but what I don't want is overwhelming debt in retirement, and that's what I'm trying to work around. So we have probably about $15,000 in unsecured debt that we're going to pay off for that as well. So, is it good to be debt free? You know, like I said, I think debt, when used properly, is a good tool. Any financial planner who's worth their weight in salt should be able to tell you that. But that's what we're going to do. And that's how I'm going to become debt free outside of my home. Now, if things change and I continue to grow my account like I'm growing, at some point I may pull out the money and pay off the home. I just don't want that monthly burden, right? Yes, we plan for it. We can plan for it. But it's just something that's just kind of hanging over me that I just really don't want. But anyway, from what I'm seeing on my investments, I think it could be possible for me to get rid of that debt anyway at some point. But right now, it's not a smart move to get rid of that debt. So anyway, where are you? Let me know in the comments, where are you in your journey? Are you trying to be debt free going into retirement? Or are you going to be debt free after you're in retirement? Or are you just going to carry debt, right? I mean, and that's okay. That's not a bad thing if you're using it properly. For example, right? Like I bought a Harley motorcycle, and this is something that Dave Ramsey really talks negative about. I borrowed when I was working. I borrowed against my 401k for that. And I had a lower interest rate than what would have been if I financed it, right, by 2 points, which is a lot over time. And what I was doing was paying back myself, right? Yes, that was some lump sum of money that was not gaining interest within, or compounding interest within, my 401k. But I found that I felt better if I was paying back myself, right? So I lost that 4% or 3.5% that I paid to my 401k service, which was Charles Schwab at the time. But that principal came back into my account. So I didn't pay it off to a bank and all of a sudden I didn't see it anymore. So anyway, using debt like that and using debt to your advantage is something that's still good, even though you're in retirement. That's how I think about it. Now, again, look, I'm going to sign off here. I am not a financial planner by any means. I like how money works, and I have always had a hobby of studying how money works. So, don't take my advice on anything. Always consult with your financial planner before you make any decisions like this, or with your CPA, whatever you have. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.